Hello friends, Terrorblade Support is not griefing. He actually offers a really powerful laning stage and a lot of utility through his illusions, and yes, later on he might scale into a carry, but I swear we aren't just building like a carry to start, okay? We're not playing carry from support, it's just, it's just something that might happen as the game progresses into like that late game, which is actually kind of good, because right now, greedy supports are really popular. There's just a bigger map, more farm everywhere. So having that scaling potential actually is good. I swear we are not just self-justifying here. It does work. I would compare it to Enchantress support. She is a really strong laner who doesn't provide stuns, kind of has a slow, right? But that is not why she's strong. She's an amazing laning stage, lots of scaling potential, and a lot of early tempo as well. So like you play like a proper support, you do a bunch early, you win your lane, and then you like push multiple lanes, and then you kind of drop off a bit, and then if the game goes late, you like pick up, right? Terrorblade does something very similar, obviously with his own unique tools. You have a very strong laning stage because of that, and the build we're doing, we are very strong in that early tempo push, and we kind of drop off a bit as the game progresses. People can get to us, nuke us down, but then as the game goes like really late, you scale up again. You're like, I'm just doing insane physical damage, right click. We have that greedy potential, which I personally think is like pretty good in this meta right now. Supports who can get away with greed and farm different parts of the map that your team can't get to. For example, conjure image illusions. It's pretty good just to get to that point, get really farmed as a support. I don't think he is broken. It is still pretty new into Terrorblade support, and there's going to be development, but I don't feel like it's broken. Like in the same way Clinks, Ricky, Nature's Prophet, when they became supports and you started to try, you immediately saw how absolutely broken these heroes were in the state they were for pubs. Terrorblade has his strengths, he has his weaknesses, but I don't feel that he's broken like those other supports. So you don't have to play him, but he is really fun, like really fun. Maybe it's just like doing something new, right? We never really got to do Terrorblade support before, even though I think like Yapsor did it like years ago. It never caught on, but now it is. A lot of pros are doing it. Let me tell you why. This is a basic overview of a carry Terrorblades build, which I swear we are not playing carry from support. Okay, I'm just going to show you this to understand the difference between support Terrorblade and carry Terrorblade. But carry Terrorblade takes Reflection at level 1 because it is a really strong spell. Then he takes 1 point in meta, sometimes 2, for the early laning stage domination. You harass the enemy, it pretty much secures an entire creep wave or 2, depending when you use it. So really strong ability. Then you max Conjure Image right away, skipping Sunder sometimes, it depends on the game. But Conjure Image will help you farm with these illusions. Then you go back to max meta. The talents you take are all based around physical damage. So like Conjure Image to help you farm and do damage later, meta cooldown, Conjure Image duration, meta duration, although sometimes it takes Sunder duration, but actually this is a little bit more common. The whole build and then the items like Manta, Scotty, Dragonlance, stuff like that, it's all around farming like a typical carry and then doing physical damage. Support Terrorblade is going to build in a way that allows him to join really early through maxing Reflection first, and then, based on his itemization, he's going to provide a lot of utility to his team using Conjure Image. Reflection at level 1 and Meta at level 2 is almost a guaranteed kill. As soon as you hit level 2, you want to look to get really close to an opponent, possibly even cut them off, like be behind them, pop Meta, hit him with a Blood Grenade, pop Reflection, and then just fight. No one can beat you in a right-click war. Your base stats are so good. You have 8.7 base armor, 1.5 base attack time, fairly high agility to start, along with 4 agility gain as the game goes on. So all of that is great. Meta then gives you 30 extra base damage and attack range. So you just sit there wailing on some guy, and you almost for sure kill him, depending where you activate it. Sometimes they get away, it's fine. They're really weak now. You use the rest of meta duration to just deny creeps in front of their face. Carry Terrorblade can technically do that, but he needs to get the last hits. So during this meta duration, this 35 seconds at level 1, there's a good chunk of time that is going to be spent on just getting last hits and then sometimes denies. But as a support, we don't care about that. We spend the full 35 seconds just whacking away at people and doing like 90 damage per attack, and then sometimes going for denies when they step too far and we can't reach them. We're going to max Reflection first. At max level, it goes to 14-second cooldown with the level 10 talent, minus 4 seconds on the cooldown. That means it is a 10-second cooldown. That puts it at a 50% uptime. 5-second duration, 10-second cooldown. So you can spam this ability out in team fights, and it is really, really good. So first of all, you're going to get 100% base damage from the people you copy. You don't get like Daedalus, Divine Rapier, the green numbers of damage, but all the base stats, which in the early game is pretty much everyone's damage, you get all of that. It also slows the enemy. It also gives them an attack slow, so they can't really trade with you in the laning stage, and later on in the team fights, they're just kind of taking losing trades. You copy them. So you get the vision of the hero. The illusion like follows them, so you can see them as they run through trees. If they're just like in an open fight at night and you copy a Luna, you get her night vision. If they have any auras and certain passives, you copy all of that for your team. So that is a really cool thing about support Terrorblade. He builds some auras and then copies other auras. You steal the auras from the enemy. So if they have built a Radiance, if they have built a mech, and you didn't build those items, you didn't build support Radiance, okay? You didn't do that. You built like a Vlad's and a drum, and then you steal a mech aura, and you steal a Radiance aura. Your team is getting a lot of value through this reflection, and you don't have to worry, oh, I used reflection, I don't have it because now the guy showed up with the auras I wanted. It's 10-second cooldown. I'm support Terrorblade. I'll copy that guy, just copy them all, it's fine. You take Conjure Image at level 4 and then max it out next because this is going to allow you to provide a lot of utility to your team besides the reflection usage. So some examples, in the laning stage, the illusion with your base armor is really tanky to right clicks along with tower shot. So you can actually tower dive really easily as Terrorblade because the illusions will eat up a lot of the tower shots. You can use it to stack multiple camps for your team. You can use it to split push multiple lanes. As the game goes, you're probably not doing this at the start, but as the game goes late, you can send illusions to different lanes. It will push out the lanes for you. You can use them to scout areas you're too scared to go to. Just send the illusion in. Oh, it's safe. Okay, then you go in, you place observer wards, sentries, stuff like that for your team. You can use it to deny runes. If you're too scared to go yourself, send an illusion over to the wisdom rune, to the power rune, to the bounty rune. If the enemy looks like they're going to get it, just deny it in front of their face. Your itemization is going to include a lot of auras, and your illusions will provide those auras. So even if you are not in a fight because you got killed, or you have a Vlad's and you send your illusion to a separate creep wave, all the creeps are going to get the auras you have built from your illusion. So that makes that push even stronger. Not just your own illusion attacking the creep wave, but then all of your creeps having a Vlad's buff, or you get killed in the fight. So your illusion is still providing the Vlad's buff to your team. You're alive, but like, you know, your carry's dove way too far and you're like, I don't want to go there, I'm just gonna die. Just send your illusion after the carry. You stick back here, you stick over there. We have 2 different sets of illusion auras from our hero. These illusions last for 34 seconds, 44 once you have that level 20 talent, and it's just up to your creativity and micro of what you can do with them. Oh, you need some help with what's this? A micro guide? Wow, maybe check it out after this video. You're gonna take Sunder at level 6, carry Terrorblade, sometimes skip it, but not us. We're gonna need this ability. So you can use it, of course, to save yourself. You get low, swap an enemy. You can use it to save your allies. They're low, swap them. Another cool thing you can do with it, which is a little bit scarier, if you are low, you can intentionally go find an enemy hero with someone else, swap them so that they're low, and then kill them off quickly. It's great. Just be careful you don't just like walk in and feed at low health. So maybe save it for the saves if you're not feeling so good or the enemy has a lot of nuke damage, but it is something you can do with Sunder. Talents, take these right away. They are way too good to skip. Take them as soon as you can. At level 20, Conjure Image. You don't really need the stats. The increased duration is far more useful for you and the utility you provide. And then at 25, carry Terrorblade. Sometimes take either one, but for us, we're always going to take Sunder cooldown. It brings it down to 10 seconds, so you can be swapping shit all over the place in these late game fights. Sure, Terrorblade has great armor and good physical damage, but you have to be griefing because you'll just be killed by spells in the laning stage and throughout the entire game. No, because we are support Terrorblade and we can itemize to deal with that. Carry Terrorblade pretty much has to go like Yasha, Manta, Dragonlance, you know, and then Scotty, that starts to tank him up, and then like the other items, but he has to build damage, which does not help him survive burst. We, as support Terrorblade, we can buy a Blood Grenade along with the 2 base strength buff that 7.35C brought. That is pretty much 100 extra health that Terrorblade did not have in the last patch when you tried to play him as a carry. As a support, okay, admittedly the carry also has the 44 extra HP. But when we're willing to buy Blood Grenade, and when we're willing to buy, like, say you swap out a Fairy Fire, or swap out a Tango for a Fairy Fire, I'm willing to do this. This is a lot of effective HP. Also, as we get harassed by spells, I'm fine buying more Tangos. I am support Terrorblade. This is my job. So you're definitely going to buy 2 sets of Tangos. You might buy a 3rd. You might buy extra salves. That's fine. Because when the enemy carry and enemy support, they're like, he's so weak to magic damage. Throw out the spells. You tank those thanks to all the cheap stats you bought, and you just buy more regen. buying HP regen is way more cost efficient than mana regen. So just eat the spells. You are tanky enough because we buy cheap stats to deal with it. You can get a stick, that's fine. I might swap out the circlet if you're doing that, and you maybe have to drop the tangos for now and then buy. You pretty much always need like 2 sets of tangos. But to start, you can get 1 and buy the next set later. Buy the sentries if you need it. You probably need at least 1. You might need more. But the name of the game is you must have the blood grenade for the level 2 power spike with meta and reflection, and then the blood grenade, that's almost a guaranteed kill, so you gotta get this. Plus it helps you with the magic nukes we just talked about, and then just whatever cheap stats you can afford, stick or no stick, fairy fire or no fairy fire. But if you can, the circle is really nice because it builds into a couple items we'll like. The exact order here depends, so you actually don't have to build an urn. If you know you're going to get a spirit vessel, you'll see Terrorblades just rush it, skip the boots, maybe still get a wand depending on the game. But you have 315 base move speed, so you'll get by fine without boots if you need to rush this spirit vessel. If you don't need spirit vessel or it's not urgent, you're just going to build it because it's like, it's okay, but we don't have to have it right away. You'll sometimes see like wand into boots into urn, or like urn into boots wand, like whatever order, as long as it makes sense. Sometimes people just stick at the urn and then go for other stuff, such as drums. So your illusions will have aura. The aura, you'll provide that 20 move speed to your teammates. Vlad's is really nice. The mana regen helps you keep up your spell spamming, the illusion spamming. You provide that Vlad's aura for everyone. It depends on the game. So like if there is a lot of burst damage, you'll want more health, such as from the spirit vessel and from the drums. If you don't really need it, it's a more right-click focused game. The armor for your team, for yourself, I mean, you don't need the armor as much because you're so high armor, but it's still nice, along with the fact that it boosts your own physical damage, which I know we're not itemizing for, but it is still useful to have. Like, it is something you offer, it's cool. This is also a great item. These are the 3 main items to see support Terrorblades build, and then like late game Boots of Bearing. But there are some flexes available to you. So for example, if there's a whole bunch of magic damage, you can buy a Glimmer Cape, which carry Terrorblade never would. But now we as support Terrorblade will get 25% magic resistance. Our illusions will get it too. Then you have the Invis, the barrier. The Invis is cool because maybe if you want to go for that aggressive swap, you like get yourself low health from jungling, and then you go Invis, run up to someone, swap them, like have some people jump at that time, kill the guy, right? You kind of have that utility. I have not been playing that way myself. If I've needed magic resistance, as the game's like, just as the draft's so called, I got a pipe. Like, you can build a lot of auras. I think as long as it makes sense, you can throw more things in here, like Lotus. I've bought a Lincoln's before, right? There's a lot of utility items that just classic supports would build, so if you want to get those, it's fine. But I do think you like auras and anything that helps you tank up strength, HP, resistances, especially magic resistance, to deal with the supposed counter to Terrorblade. But like we said, we're support. Nuke, whatever. You nuke me anyways and I die, I'm just a support. My core is now going to kill you. It's fine. I've seen some fast orchids. It's a little greedy, but I mean, it offers what it offers. It's the silence. It's really good for your team. And I mean, we like having the attack speed and the damage. And you know, I support Terrorblade, guys. Like, I'm still looking for options to go a little greedy at times. You will bring a lot of damage as the late game goes, so Orchid is something you can do. The Bloodthorn, extra damage to the illusions, right? That's some late game options. Force Staff, it's going to build into Hurricane Pike later if you need to scale up, so that's cool. Some people like to pick up a couple Wraith Bands as you hit like the minute 25 mark and you get the double value. It is pretty nice, a lot of cheap stats, especially if you're going Boots of Bearing, because all of your gold is going to a single slot. Your boots, the drums, they're all going to consolidate, so you're going to have empty slots to fill with Wraith Bands. Can be something you do if you need more armor, if you want to do more right-click damage. Otherwise, just like move on to the next item. Ags is going to give you an AoE fear, which I think is kind of cool. I haven't gotten to try it myself, but I've seen a couple people do it. I can't speak too much to it, but it does give you stats, it does help you tank up, so like I think it's kind of nifty. Something I almost forgot, Tranquil Boots. I've really been liking it. You will see people skip it sometimes if they're working on other stuff, and I think that's fine, but maybe especially if you're starting out, Tranquil Boots feels really nice on Terrorblade. It keeps you topped up because your HP is not that high, so it doesn't take that long for Tranquil Boots to come into effect. Especially if you are using Sunder to save people, you are putting yourself at very low health, and that means like, I just cannot fight anymore. Oh wait, I'm on the back line because I'm a support just spamming Reflection, and that means Tranquil Boots are going, and after just a few seconds, I'm healthy enough to rejoin the fight, get back in there, along with the fact it builds into the drum boots. It has felt really nice. It just keeps you good to go as you jungle, as you like tower dive stuff. Like, you have such high armor, you can just do that. You can just tank the tower for a little bit just for laughs, and then step out later, heal up in like 10 seconds. It's like, it's easy. So I've actually really enjoyed having the triangle boots pretty early, but you can skip it if you think you need other stuff like brown boots into orchid, stuff like that. I highly recommend you either build an urn or the Ring of Basilius, if not both, depending on the game, because the mana from at least one of those items will make your W essentially free to use. It's not quite free. You might need a neutral item, you might need teammates with arcanes, you might need to buy clarity, stuff like that, but essentially free to use to spam out illusions off cooldown and send them around, and your mana regen pretty much recovers all of it by the time you can use your W again. I should probably talk a little bit more about why Spirit Vessel is so popular on support Terrorblade. So first of all, the buildup is nice on the Urn of Shadows. Like we said, the mana covers your W spam, and then you are looking to join lots of fights, so you'll get lots of Urn charges, Spirit Vessel charges. If you Sunder save someone, you're very low, especially if you skipped Tranquil Boots, you can pretty much use one charge on yourself, and you're so low HP relatively that once you use the charge, then you like backpack tricks stuff, swap stuff around in your backpack, you're pretty much back to full health off of one Urn heal or Spirit Vessel heal. You can also use it aggressively on the enemy. So you Sunder swap them, they immediately drop to like 35% HP, and then you hit them with a Spirit Vessel, which does like the remaining amount of their health plus your auto attacks, reflection, stuff like that. Like, it's a really good item for all sorts of different things, along with the fact that you do like the strength and the health that it provides you to help tank you up. Neutral items. So carry Terrorblades always get attack speed and damage, stuff like that. Not us. So anything that gives you raw HP is really useful. So Seeds of Serenity, 150 health, fantastic. Safety Bubble, the barrier and the HP regen, really nice. Anything with mana, like Arcane Rings, pretty good. Magic Resistance from Occult Bracelet, pretty nice, although as this item's gotten nerfed, it's not like been as great. But the nice thing about this is that it stats Magic Resistance and mana regen, which is pretty much everything we're looking for on Terrorblade support, so I think it's pretty nice as well. As you go into the tier 2, something like Pupil's Gift is a ton of mana and strength. It's really nice. The Vambrace, stats, and the Magic Resistance. Cast range, so this is something I'm not sure on yet. Sunder is kind of hard to use, I'm not gonna lie, guys, but you don't have that much mana to give away taking like the Eye of the Vizier, so it's kind of nice to get cast range, especially if like level the tier 3 Psychic Headband or like Telescope later on. I have taken those, and it's felt pretty nice to have the extra cast range. I don't think you can afford to get Eye of the Vizier. Ogre Seal for 10 strength and mobility is cool. Dandelion Amulet, 300 mana is great, and the Magic Barrier is really nice. Illusions, getting Cloak of Flames, you just send them out to like split push. That's pretty nifty. I've enjoyed that. You get the idea. The weaknesses that Carry Terrorblade has, we get to fill that in because we don't have to build damage. And obviously the difference that we are not going to be doing as much physical damage as like the build Carry Terrorblade would do, but that's okay because that's not what we're doing. We are support Terrorblade. We are being tanky. We're being annoying with illusions and reflection spam and Sunder saving people, and then healing ourselves up with Urn or swapping someone low and hitting them with the Spirit Vessel so the Spirit Vessel kills them, right? There's like all sorts of stuff to work with here. Here's a couple things you might want to know about your abilities. So when someone goes invis, you cannot affect them with reflection, but if they're in Fog of War, that's fine. And the nice things about illusions I mentioned earlier, you get the vision from those heroes, so you'll be able to see a lot in these team fights. Reflection and Conjure Image have a long backswing, so make sure to cancel those, and it's even longer when you're already in meta. So for example, if you shift click after a command for whatever reason, look how slow this is. He just stands still for no reason. Make sure you animation cancel once the spell is done. Make sure you like issue a new move command or whatever. For Conjure Image, I do want to mention some tricks here. I'm not going to cover micro in general. You really should plug my own video, watch the guide for those. But for Conjure Image, because you create one illusion at a time, I just want you guys to know that when you press tab, it will always go to your most recently created illusion. So as you do different things, and like these guys are off jungling or something, and you want to create a new illusion to fight or to push down a different lane, create your new illusion, press tab or whatever you have that bound to, and then like attack, click down the lane. It won't mess with these guys who are like jungling or doing whatever. It will only send the command to the other guy. Same way, if you have a control group for all your illusions, which I do recommend you have, your most recently created illusion, if you select this group and then press and hold control and issue a command, so it only gives it to like the one hero in the control group, it will always be the most recent created illusion. By the way, these illusions can't use twin gates, so make sure if you want to like split push a lane before going over, create the illusion, send it down the lane, and then go through the twin gate. Sunder has a minimum threshold, so even when I'm really low and I swap this Drow, she will always have at least whatever percentage this is at. So at level 1 is 35, it goes down to 30 and 25. That's good for the aggressive Sunders, but actually not so favorable for the defensive Sunders, as for example, you're trying to like swap save yourself, you only at minimum get 25%, but in general, like you don't have to worry about that much. Just know that you can't be like 1 HP Sunder someone and expect them to have 1 HP. They will go to 35% of whatever their max HP is. Also, Sunder has a 0.35 second cast animation, and you'll definitely, at least I was too slow to save people. It's a little tricky to use because it's really not that long range of an ability, and due to the cast animation. So err on the side of safety. If you think you need to Sunder swap someone to save your teammates, do it earlier rather than later. This confused the heck out of me, but Demon Zeal cannot be cast when you are in meta. The wiki says if you use Demon Zeal, it'll actually end meta, but that's not the case. So like now I can use Demon Zeal, and by the way, Demon Zeal will affect your illusion, so they'll move faster and attack faster, which is pretty cool, and it works on your reflection units as well. So when we pop Demon Zeal, like it affects them. So that part is pretty cool. You will also heal this up really quickly with Tranquil Boots and Vlad, so I use it when I'm just like farming in downtime. I don't buy the shard, but sometimes you get it from the Tormentor. It's really not a great shard. I don't really want it, but it does have its uses like that. But just back to the original point, you can't cast it while in meta. So I was trying to do that a lot because I didn't realize you can't. But here, I'm going to tell you guys now, if you're confused about it, that's why. In terms of drafting, we are first picking Terrorblade, so we don't get that much of a say in it, but I have felt the best when playing against melee heroes and against enemy aura builders, or like right-clicking cores who are going to build a lot of like base stats and attack speed, because that is what is copied with reflection. So the more of those heroes are in the game, the easier it is to just play around reflection. And of course, physical damage. The more physical damage, the better, because we have such high base armor. But a ton of magic damage hasn't felt too bad, especially by a glimmer, pipe, or a lucky neutral item. You like get by and you just reflect who you can, stuff like that. For your own team, we're already on thin ice for picking Terrorblade support, so don't try to micromanage too much, but you have all the damage in the world. With level 1 reflection and level 1 meta at level 2, you will do it all. So a lane partner who provides a stun or a slow to just allow me to hit with my 90 base range damage. I am ranged Treant Protector when I pop meta, so I just need to be allowed to auto attack. Any lane partner who enables that will guarantee you kills at level 2. And it might be fast enough. Level 2 kill, pop meta, kill them. They respawn, they teleport back, kill them again. Meta lasts 35 seconds. So you just need someone to stun, slow, and let you do that. More damage is not really going to work with this pick. If you want to see more Terrorblade support being played, obviously, lots of pros are playing their pub games. You could watch that. I will possibly talk through a game and post it on this channel. If not, in my VOD channel, which is linked in the description. There are tons of games. I am going to be playing lots of Terrorblade because it's tons of fun. You can drop by the streams, check it out. All right, guys, here's the real shit. Everything I said before this, it's all true or whatever. It's not the reason anyone's playing Terrorblade support. Yes, the pro player, oh, it's cool, it's unique, it's got a strong laning stage, oh, Reflection's a good spell, blah, 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 whatever. True, but not the reason any of them are playing Terrorblade support. Okay, I believe I speak for the majority of support players when I say this. We are tired of watching core players play like shit, okay? Another Drow, TA, Bloodseeker lineup. Wow, how unique. Oh, we have no stuns, supports. Why aren't you picking stuns? Why aren't you building us utility? No Force Dev, no Glimmer, no Auras. How about you guys pick any of that shit? How about you pick any of the broken heroes who all have stuns and big AoE ults and build Auras and the greedy support lineups that are really good right now? How about I get to do any of that shit, okay? The reason I am picking Terrorblade support is because I don't want to watch a Terrorblade carry on my team. I don't want to watch him jungle for 8 items. Oh, I don't have my backpack refresher. I don't feel comfortable unless I have 2 meta so that when I die once, I can pop refresher and meta again, okay? I'm sick of that. No item Terrorblade, let's go. I'm out there fighting, I'm out there taking towers, okay? Carries have been playing Terrorblade the entire time. We've had Terrorblade for 5 days and our win rate is better, okay? They don't know what to do with these heroes. All they know is to pick right-click heroes, and they're not even even good at them. So that's why it is time for the supports to show them how it's done. That is why we're all playing Terrorblade support. It's got nothing to do with any of the bullshit we said before. We're just sick of watching them do it. We want to join in on the fun. Vroom, vroom, I've never gotten to do this, guys. Vroom, vroom, I'm throwing shit. It's doing damage. It's awesome, guys. That's why we're playing Terrorblade support.